Hello everybody, welcome to another Math Studies video. We're looking at logic here, which is a way to use maths to look at language. So we look at phrases, but we don't look at any phrase. We don't look at orders. We're not going to be looking at questions, we're going to be looking at facts, right? So not even opinions actually, although that's to be debated. We call them statements or propositions. Now here's an example. I have this phrase here. Now by saying this, does this mean that this automatically is true? Do they mean the same thing? Think about it. The answer is that they don't. And if you don't see it clearly, let's look at the following example. Here's an example of logic used wrong. It's exactly the same reasoning as before, but it's very obvious here that it's the wrong reasoning. And that's important to realize. Sometimes, depending on the context, it might not look like it's wrong when it is. So we use a mathematical approach to figure out whether it's right or wrong. Check out this one. Is this true? Like, can I therefore say the right thing? The answer is no, I can't. So how do we do it? How does this logic thing work? Very much like arithmetic, we have numbers and operators. Let's do it again. Like in arithmetic, we have numbers, 1, 4, 6, and we have operators, and we can build operations with this. In logic, we have the same thing. We have statements like P, Q, and R, which mean things like he is fruit, and operators. So, what are those statements going to be? They're going to be these facts, statements or propositions that I said, and these operators are going to be things like and, if, or, etc. Let's look at these operators. These are the ones you're going to have to learn, and I mean you're going to have to memorize them. These are two examples of statements. So we have the not operator, we have the and operator, we have the or, but not both. These two, sometimes you get them confused, and it's important to just take a minute to think about the difference between them two. We'll talk about them later. We have the if-then, it's called implication, and the if and only if, which means that it's exactly the same thing. It's the double-headed arrow. These two are slightly more complicated. The implication and equivalence, we'll talk about that later. However, these operators, you must learn them by heart. It's very important. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to move on. Here's a typical exam exercise. They give you like statements like P and Q, it's raining, I take my umbrella, and they ask you to write down the phrases. Write down the phrase of what P, V, Q means. So remember that the V is or. That's what that operator means. The arrow is if then. Then we have not, and then we have and. So P, V, Q is going to turn into it's raining. Or I take my umbrella. Simple as that. Nothing complicated, right? What's the next one going to be? Well, the arrow, P, arrow Q, is if then. Hence, right, if it's raining, then I take my umbrella. And finally, we have this not P and Q. Hence, it's not raining. Remember, that's how we build the negation in English. It's not raining. And I take my umbrella. Think about many different ways in which this can be done. That'll be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.